Okay, here come the girls. Welcome to Texas Farmstead Living, and good morning from the Texas Hill Country. I'm Karen. On today's video, we're going to share with you exactly what we do when we milk our cow by hand. We're going to share our best tips, so please watch our video from start to finish because we think that it will really help you when you hand milk your cow. And please subscribe to our channel if you're interested in all things homesteading. We would really appreciate that. We're going to get our warm wash water ready to go out and clean our cow's udder. And we're going to get everything set up in our milk room before we go out to milk. I like to just use a little bit of warm water and a splash of vinegar. I think it leaves the udder soft, and I think soap is a little bit harsh. But this is what I found works best for me. Okay, so we've got our warm water. We're going to milk in our pitchers. I do not like to milk in a bucket because I think it's too risky. But we're going to set up our strainer. We put little lids on our pitchers. So we're going to set up a half-gallon jar to start with. And we use these filters. I got them from Bob White. But you just put the little strainer, and the filter fits in just like this over the jar. Okay, so now when we come in, we're just going to go milk the cow, and we're going to pour the milk in the strainer and then go back and milk the cow and kind of go back and forth. Okay, we've got our milking pitchers ready to go. We're ready to strain our milk, and now we're going to get our gloves, and I just stick them in my pocket. I do not put them on yet. Okay, you need plenty of paper towels. I keep my paper towels out there. Okay, now we're setting up our milking area, getting ready for our cow to come in. So I want to go over with you, just a little checklist to make sure you have everything set up correctly. So we have our feed bucket with all our minerals, apple cider vinegar, or whatever supplements you like to give your cow. We have our milking stool, or you can set on a 5-gallon bucket turned upside down. We have our warm wash water. We have our milking pitcher. And if you want to do a California mastitis test, we have that all ready to go, paper towels ready to go, and a brush if we might need it to brush off debris. Also, we take our milking, when we milk, we take our pitcher directly into our milking room and strain our milk and then come back and milk more. But if your barn is not, close to your milking room, you might want a large stainless steel bucket that's lidded like this so you can milk in your pitcher, dump it in, keep the lid, and it'll stay safe. That's how we think it's safest to milk, because if something goes south, at least you don't lose all of your milk. So now we're going to put our cows, get her food in her stanchion. We always put a little block of hay, so if she runs out of feed, she's got something to nibble on. Okay, now we're ready to get our cow. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you remove any debris from your cow and just kind of brush her. This cow's very clean, but you don't want anything falling into your milk when you're milking. It's also a very good idea that you have rubber mats for your cow to stand on, and it helps with slipping and it cushions her feet. Okay, today I am going to set on a 5-gallon bucket, so you want to get that in position. Or you also can milk, you can have a little 3-leg milking stool. Okay, now it's time to put your gloves on. Okay, if your cow is new, you want to be very careful. Let's talk about which side you should milk your cow on. It's traditional to milk your cow on her right side. If you bought a cow that's an experienced milker, that's probably what she's used to. You can train them if you're left-handed, which I am, to milk on the other side, but just, try it about 4 times to train her, because they get used to habits. And like this cow, this is Belinda, she does not like anyone to milk her from the left side, because we can, Mr. Roofer consistently milks her from the right side, so that's what she's used to. So anyway, that's very important, because it'll actually make her kind of kick up. Okay, there's three ways that we use to wash our cow's udder. So I have a little warm water with a splash of apple cider vinegar, and this also helps with helping her let her milk down. So you have this method. You can also wet a paper towel, which that's what Mr. Roofer likes to do. He just wets it and wipes the peat off. Or he's going to show you on how his mother would clean the udder. He's going to demonstrate that for you. And so anyway, you want her to kind of stimulate a letdown. And so what I like to do when I'm working with my cow before I sit down is I like to put my head in her flank. It kind of keeps her still, and it kind of gives you some protection right here on your legs, because if she did kick. So you just kind of lean into her, and you can feel these muscles. So if she moves, you can feel it. You can feel if she's going to the bathroom. So anyway, so you're going to strip out the fur. You always want to strip out the milk, because that's where there's bacteria. We're just going to do that one right now. But what is probably no matter what method you use for cleaning the udder, you must dry the udder very well. It is very important, because that is where you get a lot of bacteria in your milk, in your raw milk, and you do not want that. So see, very clean. Make sure all the debris is off the udder. Okay.
My family's milked cows all of their life and all of my life. My mother grew up milking a cow, and so I was in the same situation. My mother wasn't quite as clean as what I am, so all she did was to start her milking every morning. She just milked a little milk, stripped a little milk, and washed the teat off with the milk. She didn't dry it off or anything, but I'm going to dry it off this morning. I don't particularly like dripping in the bucket wet milk.
We're briefly going to talk about udder health. At this point, after you've cleaned her udder and it's very meticulously dry, it's time to do the California mastitis test if you would like to. Now, we do not do it every day. We just do it when we think there might be a reason. And also when you were cleaning her udder, if you saw any cuts or scratches, this would be a time that you would use some kind of udder balm or a salve that you know, might ease that cut while you're milking, because she will kick if it hurts. So that's not what we want. Now it's time to hand milk your cow. This is my favorite part. So I like to have a little lid close by in case the cow has an accident. So like I said, I like to wear a cap when I'm milking, because I can put my cap and head up in her flank like this, and I can feel everything that she's doing. Now they're gonna shift. So I'm gonna strip. So I'm closing off the top of the teat, squeezing down. You do not want to balloon the teat, because that can cause some teat damage to the end. See? Mr. Roofer is going to demonstrate also, so you can see how he milks. But I'm kind of closing off up here, see? And squeezing. Squeezing. But not ballooning. She has large teats, and it could balloon and that down in the bottom, and that would not be good. That's not what you want. See? See? We milk one-handed and hold the pitcher, because we're watching, and see, you can tilt the pitcher and nothing will fall in your bucket. No flies. Rarely that happens. So anyway, you want to pop up when you milk, like to bunt, like the calf would, that lets let down.
Give you a little bit demonstration on how I milk. I'm right-handed, so this is the way I go. You put the top of your hand here. Put the top of your hand here and just squeeze like it was a balloon and kind of pull down on it gently. This is the way a calf does. He kind of pushes up, nudges her back and forth. And after a few tries, you'll get the hang of it. Be like second nature. And you can feel the cow's muscles flex or move with your shoulder. And she tends not to move when you are up against her. But a lot of times if you move away, then she'll step forward. See how sudsy it is? That's a healthy udder.
Now we have our beautiful hand milk, raw milk. But I want to tell you a couple of things since I did have a State of Texas raw milk dairy. This is our process for hand milking that is for our personal raw milk, consumption. When you have a raw milk dairy, it is a total different set of rules. You cannot hand milk with a state license, unless they've changed it recently. You have to use a milking machine. But the whole process, when you are milking for commercially, they use teat dips and a whole different system for cleaning the udder before they milk. Now we're in our milk room and it's time to strain the milk. Remember, our milking pitcher is about half a gallon and our milking strainer is half a gallon. So we milk the cow, we fill our pitcher, and we come fill up our strainer just like this. And we strain into half-gallon ball jars. See all that? That is a sign that you your milk is beautiful and very healthy, the foam. Sometimes I will take some of this milk and pour it into quart jars, because we like to have, it's very convenient to keep your milk in quart jars, and it cools faster. So then we just take our milking bucket, our milking pitcher, we go right back and keep milking the cow, because it just takes a couple of seconds. But this will not overflow. It's the exact amount fits in the strainer that will go in the jar. So there you have it, super easy. We're going back to milk the cow more. Okay, we're finished straining our milk, and I always check the filter after I strain my milk, because it'll be a telltale sign if your cow might have something, an issue of mastitis starting. You would see if your milk strained very slowly, that could be a sign of mastitis. But this milk strained very quickly. Beautiful filter. We did not, I don't see any debris. So I know this is really clean raw milk. So we're going to put a lid on our half-gallon jar, and I always like to date it, because that's important. Keep up with your keeping your milk organized in your refrigerator. Okay, now it's time to clean up. You want to make sure you have like some fluffy white dairy brushes. They work really well. I have a dairy soap that it has no fragrance, and it's low sudsing, but you could use like Dawn maybe, dish soap. And I always keep a bottle of vinegar, spray bottle of vinegar. Your first rinse needs to be with lukewarm water. Just rinse up all the milk. First thing I do. I just use a tiny bit of soap. I scrub the inside of the pitcher. And if you're using a milk bucket, you just want to make sure you use a different brush for the inside and the outside, because if you get any manure, that would contaminate your brush. Now I'm using hot water. Okay, then I do a vinegar spray. Okay, and I rinse one more time with hot water. If you have a sink with a drain board, it's really, really helpful, because you can just take your hot pitcher of water and pour it over everything. Okay, keep it. That's all we do. We just let it air dry. Okay, now we're going to talk about the very important topic of calf management. So first of all, I want to give you some guidance when you're dealing with your cow and her calf, especially when it is first born. I want you to be very cautious and very careful, because the cow is very, very protective over her calf. So the way we manage our calves when they're first born is we leave the cow and calf together. We never do a separation, because we think the cow's udder is healthier and the calf is healthier. We find that at this stage, I think this calves are about a month old, that the cow doesn't hold her milk back, that everything's fine. We get cream. The calf stays healthier because it's not overeating. But as the calf grows, it will take all of your milk, and you will have to manage that some, and maybe do some separation. And also, if you're machine milking, if you get a machine out, you want to get several gallons, and the calf might drink it all. So we start off newborn, no separation. As the cow's lactation, she increases milk supply up to 2 months. We get all the milk that we need those 2 months. But as the calf gets older, you'll clean every bit of the milk out, and we will do some separation, but we might only do it once a week and only milk once a week, so that we have a lot of flexibility and freedom on milking and to go places. So it makes milking very, very easy and convenient. But we will be creating a lot more videos on details of how we do this, and we do already have some milk cow videos on some training, so please make sure you watch those, because we are going to get into some really details of how we've milked for years and when we milked for the state to have a raw milk permit. From our Texas Hill Country Farmstead to you, have a blessed day, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.